Joining us now is on the line Chris Saxman of The Chris Saxman Show. Heard today, 3 to 6 p.m. Saxman also normally at the anchor desk with us, but now that I gave him his own show on the John Fredericks Radio Network, he's a big-time media star, and now he's going on TV. He'll be at the anchor desk on NBC Channel 12 in Richmond, so he can't be bothered with us. Chris, great to have you with us.
Good morning, John. How are you? But we should note that I'll be at your place after 9 o'clock, and they called first. So
he's going to grace us
NBC 12
with his
tomorrow
presence.
night.
Well, at least we'll get the benefit.
I'll plug you on the NBC 12.
We'll get. Thank you. We'll get the benefit of your expert analysis. All right, it's shaping up to be a catastrophe here. Night of the living dead for Republicans. They're not going to hold the Senate, and I don't see how they hold the House. What about you?
I'm not quite there yet because and this is really important for your listeners to understand how politics works. And there's a lot of tells that went on over the weekend, which are very interesting. One, Mike Pence goes to Virginia Beach to try to bring out the vote for Kiggins and Rocky Holcomb and Shannon Kane in that particular part of Virginia Beach, which is, I think, the firewall for Republicans. They have to win those three, and that's where Pence went. And he wouldn't have gone there if they didn't think it would have been effective.
Yep.
And I think it's going to be effective. It's a tell. And then over the weekend, Biden and Terry McAuliffe went to John Bell's district to try to pull him over. That shows that race is very, very competitive. They wouldn't go there if they knew they were already going to win. They would go to a different race. They'd go to Siobhan Donovan's and Deborah Rodman's race, bring out the vote there. They didn't. They stayed in Northern Virginia. Bernie Sanders, in another tell, went to Lee Carter's. Why is he doing that? I mean, these are really important things to understand in this race.
Okay, so that's all interesting, but let's get down to the races here. There's no way that the Republicans hold the state's Senate. I know you're not there. You think maybe.
No, I think at minimum it's 2020. I think the Sturtevant race in Richmond area is probably not competitive. It's probably outside the margin of error, but anything can happen. It's not going to get the votes out. But I think if I were putting money on that one, I'd probably bet on Hashmi to pull it out and probably 3 or 4 points. Right now, Donovan Rodman, that's a slugfest. I had it ranked number 1 in my rankings over the first part of the week. That changed and that flipped with the amount of money the Democrats poured into John Bell's, the open seat for Dick Black. They poured in a lot of money over the last week, which indicates to me there's just some softness in the polling, and the Republicans have run a pretty good race there.
Okay, so I think it's going to be 21-19. What's your prediction? 21-19 Dem. What's your prediction?
Yeah, I think the over-under is 20 and a half. I'd put it right there right now. I haven't really done analysis over any money over the weekend. But
sounds like you're agreeing with me. I'm going to go to word from our sponsors.
No, I mean, 21's the edge, right?
I think it's going to be 21-19. Sounds like, are you going to make a prediction or not?
Not right now. I'm still looking at it. I was really interested to see Biden and McAuliffe going up to help John Bell in that race.
All right, so you're going to be looking at it until 7:20 tomorrow night. Stay with us.
Yeah. Funny.
Stay with us. Hey, great win for the Steelers yesterday, by the way. Great win.
Hey, we got our backup quarterback doing some magic.
It doesn't matter how you win the game, right? At the end of the day,
right.
they got a W. A W is a W, right? Doesn't matter that
especially these days, a curly W is dominant, right?
Yeah, whatever. Doesn't matter that Adam Vinatieri missed a 43-yard field goal as time expired. Doesn't matter.
Laces out.
You got the win.
He kicked it right on the laces.
It wasn't even close, right? All right, hang on. I got to go to work for our sponsors. When I get back, we're going to go over some house races. Stay with us.
They don't call him the commander of common sense for nothing.
I'm not a wholly owned subsidiary of the Republican National Committee, the Democrat National Committee, any campaign or anybody else. So I'm going to call it like I see it.
Guess who got out of the wrong side of the bed this morning?
Make sure to get your big boy pants on. No crybaby diapers.
There's no crying in baseball!
Here on the John Fredericks Show.
All right, one day before election, we're with Chris Saxman. Chris, let's go over some of these House races. District 10, Northern Virginia rematch, Randy Minshew, Wendy Goodidis. Minshew's put a lot of his own money in it. I'm predicting Goodidis wins. What say you?
Yeah, well, I think that's probably accurate because the Republicans haven't put much money there. Maybe they've relied on Minshew to pull it across, but they were very pleased with their polling early in this race, so it's going to be close.
District 21, Virginia Beach. This is just on the edge of Virginia Beach and Chesapeake. Kelly Fowler, incumbent, running against Shannon Kane. I thought the Republicans had a chance to pick this up. I think Shannon Kane, school board member, ended up being a terrible candidate. Fowler wins.
I think that's probably what's going to happen. Wouldn't be surprised if there's an upset though. But yeah, I think the edge right now is there.
Roxanne Robinson trying to hang on against Larry Barnett. Roxanne she's got a better campaign than meets the eye. She's very well liked. This is a Republican district. She won last time by a hair. I think she wins again.
I do too. Late polling suggests that she was going to pull this one out. Yeah, I agree there.
District 28, Fredericksburg. Bob Thomas beating Bob Thomas's seat. Milday upset him in a primary. The more I look at Milday, the more I like him. Don't forget, he's a Board of Supervisors member there. He's been elected 2 times. I think he's run about the best campaign he can with the resources he had. Joshua Cole, the Democrat challenger, doesn't really have a job. He's 27 or 28 years old. I think he's a pastor of a small church, but he's kind of bounced around things. Milday's got a pretty good background. I think he hangs on.
Well, it's not about hanging on. It's an open seat, so he's got to win it. Party divided, has to reunite around that. Republicans typically come home. Squeaker, I think Milday by 1 or 2 points.
I agree.
And that's only because, John, what you have to understand is the national generic ballot on Election Day in 2017 was +9. Today it's +5. That's 4 points better for Republicans nationally. And I think in these suburban districts, you're going to see that reflected.
We got 3 minutes. Nick Freitas, right in. I think he blows out Ann Ridgeway.
Yeah. Okay. Democrats have not spent any money there.
Yeah.
Freitas going to win big. Nick's going to win.
Freitas going to win big, and then he's going to run for Congress, and he's going to be the nominee against Spanberger, District 7. District 31, DJ Jordan against Elizabeth Guzman, the incumbent Democrat. A lot of people thought DJ would pull the upset and win this race. I'm predicting Elizabeth Guzman gets reelected easily.
I don't think it's easily. I think Jordan overperforms in this district for Republicans, but he doesn't close the 10-point gap from 2017 that Guzman got. Again, there's no statewide poll on a lot of these races,
right?
So there's a natural pullback anyway, a snapback. But Jordan's running a pretty good race there, and they put some money behind it. And I think he's a candidate that will surprise how close this is going to be. And I wouldn't be surprised if it's an upset, but it's probably not likely.
All right, so far we've agreed on everything. Here's a tough one. I'm going to start this time with Chris Saxman. District 40, last man standing in Northern Virginia, Tim Hugo, trying to scrape by the guy has worked his tail off against Dan Helmer, very liberal Democrat, but also a combat veteran. What do you think, Chris?
Well, that aside, this is one of those. Tim won that district barely 2 years ago, but Ralph Northam won it by 11. That's a huge difference when there's nothing on the statewide ticket pulling the voters out. And if you notice, what I mentioned to you in the previous segment was that Biden and McAuliffe went to Northern Virginia, but they didn't go to this district. And I think, they poured a lot of money in late to Helmer's race, like $500,000 in the last 2 weeks. That's a lot.
Yeah.
But the question is, where can you spend $500,000 in the last 2 weeks? And that's only broadcast TV. So and that's a heavy play to get broadcast TV.
So what do you think?
I think Hugo still wins. It's going to be close.
I do
All
too.
his polling has shown him up, and he's been polling at a 40% turnout rate in that district. So
I think
he's,
he wins. So far, we've agreed on everything. Hugo wins by 1%. Final one, and then I've got the music here. I got to get out. I'm predicting Ian Lovejoy upsets Lee Carter Manassas. What about you?
I've heard Republicans have said they've been up since Labor Day. I wouldn't be surprised. And the fact that Bernie Sanders came in shows you the weakness in the campaign. So yeah.
All right,
I think
great candidate Ian
Lovejoy.
Lovejoy. It's going to be very, very close. I got to take off.